I'm Jonathan Wornell, and I work for H&A Prestige Bottling. We're based up in Lancashire, in the north of England, and we're one of the largest independently owned bottling companies in the UK. Our key, we have a diverse range of customers. We have somewhere between about 100 and 150 customers, changing all the time, from large companies right down to entrepreneurs who are producing down to as small as about 100 cases. Our minimum is about 500 litres, although that's the bottom of our flexibility. So a bit about us. As I say, we're based in the north of England, and it's an old established company. It's part of the Halewood Group, but we run independently of Halewood, but we do a lot of manufacture for the Halewood Group as well. The key thing with our company is our flexibility, and that's our production lines. So we have about 14 lines. This is a constant changing feast because it's all about the consumer and the brand owners and what they want us to do. So this list, I've been with the company for about 7 years now, and in the drinks industry for coming up for 30 years. And now I get to see all these different trends that are all happening in one place. So we're dealing in these 14 lines. We get all the requests, as Matt was saying, things like the packaging jerry cans. We get a number of customers who ask us to put their product into 20-litre drums, as well as into bottle or into other formats. So this list has changed. Line 1 is just a reaction to the market. We had another line in line 1 which was decommissioned a couple of years ago, and we've just put in a new line 1, mainly because certain bottles and speeds were required. Some of the latest trends. Whoops. One of the things which I've been partly to blame for is is glitter in product. So we've been asked to package a lot of glitter products. There's a lot on the shelves in the UK, and a large number of them have come through our factory. So the key things are if it sparkles, if it's pink, and if it's got a flavour. So everyone wants flavours and colours and glitter, and that's following on from the packaging requirements as well. We also, because of the eco things, a lot of people ask about bag and box. We haven't got a huge amount of people doing it, but it's something which comes up all the time. We've done eco pouch filling, 20-litre pouch filling, and you would have seen on the list before, we can do 1.5 litre, 3 litre, 5 litre, all various sizes of pouch and bag and box. The other thing which has been dictated by the market and all the brands wanting to premiumise themselves is loads of people want a gift box, which as a bottler, it's just another thing we get asked to do, and some of these gift boxes aren't always straightforward. So when the design companies come and say, this is what we want to do, and we go, that's not what we really want to do, and then we have to meet a compromise. So it's often really important to also just test some of these things before you go into main production, because some of these things are not the easiest to fill or pack. As Claire was saying, there's a huge surge for decorated bottles, whether that's in your own bottle or going down a bespoke route. And then other value-added things, a lot of neck tags. Everyone wants to put a neck tag on the bottle. So we can get it down the line at a really good speed, and then we just have to slow the line right down to then try and get fiddly neck tags on. And there's also, as a design company, I'm sure you've seen, there's all sorts of different designs, some with ropes, some with tiny bits of thread, some with elastic, and every manner. And believe me, some work a lot easier than others. And just because it looks good doesn't mean it's easy for the bottler to put it together. So we said ship to bespoke bottles, which Claire's covered over. And then the key thing about those 14 and 15 lines that we run is the need to have all different sizes. So about 2 to 3 years ago, we suddenly saw this huge trend towards everyone wanting to add a 20 cl to their portfolio. So we sort of up-spec, we put another line in that we could, we actually put a line in that was specialising in 20 cl bottles. That line has now been replaced again because the market seems to have gone back to, in our experience, miniatures. So miniatures are still the go-to. Everyone wants to do a miniature. As well as other sizes, we'll fill up to, we do 6 litre bottles. I've done 6 litres, 4.5 litres, and a lot of 3 litre bottles as well. I'm just going to show you a couple of products. As I said, I approached this company about 4 or 5 years ago, and they had just launched their Unicorn Tears product. And then I went to see them, and we actually re-engineered their product, their original Unicorn Tears product. I'm not responsible for the design. All we did was we re-engineered the liquid, and we put glitter in as opposed to the they had flakes in it before. We can't run flakes. It's a difficult thing to add and produce safely, to make sure that, because you've got to, at least these products can go through filtration. So this company is now up to about 20 different SKUs of all ranging size. They launch a new product all the time, which they generally, all of these are screen printed bottles, and trying to make the most of the glitter liquids that are inside. I mentioned about bag and box. Pinkster, this was launched about 2 years ago, I think. So Pinkster, we fill a range of sizes for them, and then they asked about bag and box. They originally spoke to me about this at Imbibe 6 years ago, I think, and finally we got it. They finally got their bag and box to market about 2.5 years ago. Talking about the small entrepreneur, this is a story about a customer I met about 6 months ago, and they've gone through an interesting journey. Husband and wife team, both worked in the corporate world in marketing, and wanted to create their own gin. So what the route they've gone down is, as Claire was saying, they went for a off-the-shelf bottle because they're going to start small. They were going to start with about 1,000 bottles. So they've got a very intricate, they went to a number of decorating houses for bottles, and a lot of them said, no, we can't do that, no, we can't do that. And it may seem quite simple, but decorating over the neck of that bottle is quite a skill for any decorating company. So they've come up with a lovely product. It's got a top strap in gold foil. The other thing that everyone is pushing us for is to remove plastic, the smallest bit of plastic on the tamper evidence. Nobody wants to put it. Viscose, I think, do a product which is decomposable, but we're still putting them on a lot of products, but I'm sure that the technology will come a long way, and we'll get there with a seal that works. So we did about 200 cases, just over 1,000 bottles for this customer on their first run. They've already booked their second run, which is going to be in November. But a lovely gift box as well. And this husband and wife have actually put this distillery as a part of their house in Ealing. It's actually built on the side, which was their utility room. It's been turned into a distillery. So the other thing that I helped them a lot with was their HMRC compliance and the things they didn't know about when they first set up the distillery. Another project which was launched a couple of weeks ago was Highclere Castle Gin. I spoke to these guys nearly 2 years ago when they came to me and said they wanted to produce in the UK. At that stage they didn't have a distiller, so I sorted that for them, found them a distiller, and we launched this product officially about 4 weeks ago. A bespoke bottle, very, very simple bespoke bottle. The colour was a real challenge. That took months, and it's fully decorated on 4 sides, plus it also has a neck tag. We also get asked to fill other sorts of things as well, including for Kraken, we've done their ceramics each year. It's not a huge, we were talking about this just before, it's ceramic bottles are not recyclable, so it's not a huge, there's not a huge demand for them, but they look great, and as Claire said, they'll be used as candle holders or display pieces. So just, I said about miniatures, this is just some of the portfolio and some of the, just a range of all the sizes. So, but miniatures have just gone explosive, and people trying to replicate what they have in their big brand in the small brand in the miniature is sometimes a bit of a challenge as well.